Alright guys, the moment of truth is here with Xenoblade Chronicles X Definitive Edition. How has this remastered version of the game done on the Nintendo Switch? And I am happy to report things are looking incredibly good. Now, the original Xenoblade Chronicles game was a solid title on the Wii U. It clocked in at about an 83/84 average type of Metacritic score. Not bad at all, with the number of people pointing out some different things with some of the textures and the loading and some of the issues here and there with the combat and story beats. Now the game is back again on the Nintendo Switch with a bunch of improvements in addition to a resolution to that nasty little cliffhanger at the end of the game, with some extra content and a bunch of quality of life features that smooth out the experience. And you can see that that has been replicated in the review score with a nice 88 overall average. Now in this video, I'm going to be breaking down the good top scores, the middle scores, and the lower scores, and getting to a more of a common denominator in terms of what makes Xenoblade Chronicles X Definitive Edition such a great game, to the point where it got an 88 on the Metacritic score, which is absolutely fantastic. Now that slides, actually no, Xenoblade Chronicles 2 is still the lowest rated one, but this puts it up here with Xenoblade Chronicles Definitive Edition and Xenoblade Chronicles 3, as all of those games have high ratings overall. So very good to see that. Now let's go ahead and jump right into the first review here, and it's from Nintendo Life. But we shouldn't waste our time actually going through what Nintendo Life has to say about a game, so we can go ahead and skip their review. So we're going to start off with Tech Radar instead, and Tech Radar gave the game a 10 out of 10 and says the release of Xenoblade Chronicles X Definitive Edition means the entire Xenoblade series is now playable on the Nintendo Switch. If you're playing the enhanced Wii U title for the first time, you'll undoubtedly be dazzled by its breathtaking open world and astonishingly deep battle system. Series veterans will also appreciate the quality of life changes like the improved tutorial, better navigation, as well as the overall cleaner visuals, whether you're playing in docked or handheld mode. Definitely good to hear that. Next up is from Washington Post. Shout out to my man Gene Park, and he gave the game a 10 out of 10 and says, what if Halo was a Japanese role-playing adventure written by a guy whose pitch for Final Fantasy VII was rejected because it was deemed too dark and complicated? Well, here you go. Now you got yourself Xenoblade Chronicles X. Next up from Inverse, 10 out of 10. Saying Xenoblade Chronicles X isn't a game for everyone. It doesn't have the kind of guided story a lot of RPGs do, and its dense systems can be a lot to digest. But it's a game with a wholly unique vision, and it only gets better with the more time you put into it. It's hard to think of a bigger, higher note the Nintendo Switch could be going out on. Awesome stuff there. Next up from Destructoid, 10 out of 10, and this is the last 10 out of 10 before we get into some of the 9 out of 10 scores. Instead of going the easy route, Monolith Soft went the extra mile and added meaningful new content and quality of life features that actually improved on what was already a masterpiece experience. The Definitive Edition treatment makes Xenoblade Chronicles X Definitive Edition one of the best JRPGs on the Switch and a must-play for fans of the game. All right, good stuff there. Let's get into the 9 out of 10 scores. This one is from Atomics. They gave it a 9.5 out of 10, saying the best Wii U port to Nintendo Switch, as they not only brought the adventure over intact, but also took the time to consider those who had already played it and wanted a more polished product. This includes graphical improvements, quality of life tweaks, and the inclusion of additional story content. All right, good stuff there. Next up is from Hobby Consolas, 9.3 out of 10. If it was already a special game on Wii U, now, thanks to the changes, new features, and above all, the epilogue, Xenoblade Chronicles X Definitive Edition is also one of the best JRPGs on the Nintendo Switch. An adventure as colossal as a giant robot and unforgettable as an alien planet you don't want to leave. Next up, 9.2 from the Games Machine. Monolith Soft brings back to light one of Tetsuya Takahashi's most singular JRPGs. Originally buried in the depths of Wii U, the absence of the gamepad is more than compensated for by new content and improvements that refine both the pace of the battles and the narrative experience, making the adventure even more engaging. Living up to its name, Xenoblade Chronicles X Definitive Edition is the best way to lose yourself for countless hours among the wonders of Mira. Okay, that's definitely good to hear. Yeah, the Wii U gamepad was a little bit of a hit overall, but with all the stuff that they add over when it comes to the improvements and quality of life features, and of course, the big thing, the epilogue story that wraps up after the end of the game, I think that is a good thing. Definitely worth the trade-off there. All right, next up is from CG Magazine, 9 out of 10, and they said, Xenoblade Chronicles X Definitive Edition graces the Nintendo Switch with one final gift from its underappreciated older sibling, the Nintendo Wii U, bringing with it the best version of an already stellar JRPG experience. Next up from Game Reactor UK, Monolith Soft has once again delivered for its fans, offering an expanded version that refreshes the classic and will live on alongside the rest of the series on Nintendo Switch. Let's just hope that this little gift that is Xenoblade Chronicles X Definitive Edition hasn't taken them too long to show us the next installment of the series in the near future. Well, the thing about it is that Monolith Soft has multiple teams, and Takahashi Team 1 has already been working on something outside of what this team was delivering for the remaster, and Nintendo was probably holding on to this game for a little bit of time as well. So no, I'm not sure if this person knows how Monolith Soft has multiple studios within them that do auxiliary work and do other things, but it's all good overall. Either way, I do think that they didn't necessarily interfere because they've already been working on their Team 1 game for a while now. So yeah, next up is from Press Start Australia, 9 out of 10, and there are a ton of 9 out of 10s, guys. Xenoblade Chronicles X Definitive Edition is a reminder that X, one of the best entries in Xenoblade despite its differences. It's a weird and wonderful game that stands out in a franchise filled with bangers. This version doubles down on its strengths and supplements some of its weaknesses to make the best version of X, and a must-buy for any JRPG fanatic. Absolutely. Next up is from Well Played, 9 out of 10. The underdog in Monolith Soft's Xenoblade Chronicles series has never looked or played better, giving new life to a game that could have been destined to rot in the ill-fated Wii U's library. By boldly refitting systems and gently touching up the already beautiful art, along with adding some welcome chunks of all new content, this definitive edition of Xenoblade Chronicles X is essential playing for fans, new and old. All right. Now, there are a lot more 9 out of 10s, guys. We're going to go down like the list of them. XGN, 9 out of 10. The 6th Axis, 9 out of 10. WCCF Tech, 9 out of 10. IGN, 9 out of 10. I'm going to read what they had to say here, then we'll continue on. Xenoblade Chronicles X was already one of the Wii U's best games, and this definitive edition has escaped the destruction of its old home like the white whale and settled down nicely on Switch. The quality of life improvements here are enough to justify another trip to Mirror alone for veteran players, and it's the perfect opportunity for newcomers to explore its beautiful landscapes for themselves. Its combat systems are deep and engaging, and the massive open world never got old to run, jump, or fly across. Its main story may not quite live up to the standards of the series, but a likable cast of characters and plenty of compelling side missions means Xenoblade Chronicles X Definitive Edition is still an adventure worth writing back home about. Awesome stuff there. Good review as well. Next up, Shack News, 9 out of 10. Digitally downloaded, 9 out of 10. RPG Site, 9 out of 10 as well. Jux Video, 9 out of 10. EverEye.it, 9 out of 10. Vandal, 9 out of 10. Area Juganes, 9 out of 10. Multiplayer.it, 9 out of 10. So a plethora of 9 out of 10s and 10 out of 10 scores. We are now going to get into the 8 out of 10 scores. And I want to note here that, guys, that there are no mixed or negative reviews. This game essentially has a 7.5 and up. So that is also a very positive sign that this game is very good across a wide, broad range of opinions. So Nintendo 8.8 out of 10, saying Nintendo Switch welcomes Xenoblade Chronicles X, the missing piece of the saga, an immense open world where you can lose yourself for hundreds of hours and enjoy an intense science fiction story that hooks you from the very first moment. Mary Station, 8.7 out of 10. saying Xenoblade Chronicles X Definitive Edition is the best way to discover or enjoy again one of the classics trapped for years on Wii U. Games.ch 8.6 out of 10, saying with the definitive edition on Switch, Xenoblade Chronicles X remains a great science fantasy RPG with a varied and gigantic open world. The gorgeous landscapes and a fantastic soundtrack provide a strong atmosphere that just gets torpedoed by the silent main character. If you skip the Wii U original, the refined version on Switch is your best chance to catch up on this great JRPG experience. COG Connected gave it an 8.5 out of 10, saying, I've had a difficult relationship with Xenoblade games in the past. They're enormous, unwieldy beasts that are weighed down with endless mechanical systems and floaty, disconnected combat. Somehow, all of this is applicable to Xenoblade Chronicles X, and I still love it. The combat feels more grounded, the mechanics are more approachable, and the plot is more accessible. Plus the custom outfits. Those really changed the game for me. Also, being able to pilot a team of mechs is a major bonus. Xenoblade games are still not for everyone. This is an imposing, enormous RPG series in every way, but against all odds, Xenoblade Chronicles X Definitive Edition is somehow the one for me. I think it's really just the outfits and the graphics and the mechs for COG Connected. The reviewers are there. I don't think they still like the actual game, but hey, give me some outfits, give me a big open world, and give me some mechs, and I'll give it an 8.5. All right, good stuff. Next up is from GameSurf, 8.5 out of 10, saying Xenoblade Chronicles X Definitive Edition is the sumptuous return of a series that reached an incredible technical and performance peak on the Wii U, but it still holds up very well on Switch, because the heart of the game lies in solid RPG gameplay that deserves more attention from the public. That was a really good contrasting in terms of how people feel about the combat. Yes, it's not going to be for everyone overall. There's a lot of systems and mechanics. If you like more of the simpler or hack and slash type of RPGs or button masher type of RPGs, then obviously Xenoblade is not going to be for you. It's definitely a tactical type of game where you have to position yourself right. You have to know when to actually use your allies' attacks. You have to know exactly what you're doing in the setup. There's a lot of mechanics layered on top of each other when you're breaking and toppling and doing all this different type of stuff, but when you actually get the hang of it, it's really cool. If you're willing to put the time to learn it, it's actually really dope. And this game, when it comes to the Definitive Edition, has a better tutorial than in years past. All right, next up is from My Nintendo News, 8.5 out of 10, saying Xenoblade Chronicles X has always stood apart from the main trilogy as a markedly different experience, and the Definitive Edition does a fantastic job at bringing it up to par from a gameplay perspective, with the numerous quality of life changes, addressing some of the more glaring flaws, and making it a much more comfortable title to play. Occasional performance dips and obtuse gameplay mechanics notwithstanding, whether you're familiar with the streets of New LA as your hometown, or this is your first time upon Mira, Xenoblade Chronicles X Definitive Edition is an out-of-this-world experience you won't want to miss. Okay, very good there. Now we're going to go down the rest of the 8 out of 10 scores. Oh, Young Geezer, they gave it an 8.5 out of 10. MGG, 8.5 out of 10. Gaming Bible, 8 out of 10. PC Mag, 8 out of 10. VGC, 8 out of 10. Checkpoint Gaming, 8 out of 10. Books, 8 out of 10. Eurogamer, 8 out of 10. Metro Game Central, 8 out of 10. IGN Italia, 8 out of 10. IGN Portugal, 8 out of 10. IGN Spain, 8 out of 10. Did they all share the same review? Digital Trends, 8 out of 10. And for the last review here, Eurogamer Portugal, also 8 out of 10. So I did say that there was nothing lower than a 75 overall, but there's nothing actually lower than an 8, which is definitely a good and a first for a Xenoblade game. Now, yes, more reviews are coming in. There's only about 50 reviews so far, so more reviews should come in, but I don't think there's going to be that many more reviews that come in, considering the size of the game and probably the fact that it is a remaster. Yes, there's new content, so there'll probably be a number of more reviews. So the score looks to be pretty much locked in at an 88, and this would be dope because, like I said, this would be the first time that we don't get some type of crazy low score for a Xenoblade game out of nowhere, and which happens to a lot of games anyway, but this happens to Xenoblade all the time, where some crazy, like somebody comes in and gives like a 5 or something like that, and you can tell that they didn't play the game, or they don't know what the heck they're doing at all, but somehow they got a review code and somehow they're reviewing games, right? So very good overall, man. Lowest score being an 8 out of 10 in terms of overall average. That is absolutely a good thing. And Xenoblade Chronicles X Definitive Edition, once again, is a game that's, yes, different from the mainline trilogy of the games when it comes to the story and some of the pacing, and obviously the mechs that you can fly around in, the huge, massive real open world in the game as well, compared to some of the segmented open-ended areas in other Xenoblade games. But it's very awesome to see that people really dig this one and enjoyed it. Plus, all of the quality of life features in there are definitely a positive and a good thing. A lot of good 10 out of 10 scores, a lot of good high 9 out of 10 scores as well. And once again, no really low scores, just saying that, oh my god, this game is terrible. So yeah, that's a pretty broad range. So if you want to check out Xenoblade Chronicles X Definitive Edition, if you want to use this as your in to finally get into the Xenoblade series, I mean, I wouldn't recommend it. I would start with Xenoblade Chronicles Definitive Edition overall, because that's the actual Takahashi vision for the story and everything. But this is not a bad alternative if you just want to play something Xenoblade, and maybe that will be the first one that you get into. And of course, if you've already played other Xenoblade games and you haven't played this one, it is a no-brainer must-buy type of game. It's just that good. So if you like Xenoblade games, you're probably going to like this game, and you might even like this game more. Who knows, right? But for me, overall, this is an incredible experience that I really enjoyed playing back on the Wii U, and I'm going to enjoy it even more on the Nintendo Switch because of true portability, in addition to all of those quality of life features, and of course that big epilogue chapter where they actually wrap some things up. So it's going to all be better, more enjoyable. The online play in terms of the UI and functionality been improved as well, so that's very good to see. So awesome stuff overall. So what do you guys think about Xenoblade Chronicles X Definitive Edition and its 88 average on Metacritic? You guys gonna check it out? Let me know in the comment section below. All right, guys, that wraps it up for this video here. Thank you so much for watching. I do appreciate it. Please make sure you hit that like button, subscribe if you're someone new, click that notification bell, and check out my other Nintendo Switch RPG videos and more right here on screen. Thanks for watching, and we'll catch you guys for the next one. Peace.